Joe Mauer enters the Hall of Fame, guys, as well-deserved, one of the best catchers of all time. Todd Helton, one of the best first basemen of all time, also deserves. Jim Leyland with the goatee kind of freaked me out a little bit. And my guy, Adrian Beltre. Congratulations to those guys, but we're actually not going to talk about it. I want to talk about a thought that I was having recently about who is allowed to be in the Hall of Fame. Guys who act like they've been there, like professionalism in that way, and what that means for baseball. People who go out and play the game and are quiet and quietly do it. And the reason that is the way that it is because the game is played every single day. Emotion is purposely being removed from baseball and has been forever because of how taxing being emotional is on you. And that is the concept, because there's so many games. We have soccer, we got football, guys run off emotion. These guys play 2 games a week. They play 1 game a week. Basketball's 2 to 3 games a week, right? They get off days. They can recharge. This is every single day. So if you go out and you say something or do something and then it backfires on you the next night, and now you have this thing coming from 2 sides, and now we have social media. So it's 10,000 times worse. Rage bait is how algorithms are built now. So it's just incentivized. Everyone needs to talk about every single thing that's rage baiting because it makes them money. No one's fault. So it's society's fault. But that's why we see so much withdrawing within yourself and trying to stay within yourself and only worry about yourself and not engage with the outside world, is because it allows you to do your job more effectively. I think Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this now. Let's talk about what are the standards for the Hall of Fame. What is the Hall of Fame? I think that this is important, and I had a thought about this. It's a good standard to kind of go by. Pete Rose should have his accomplishments in there, but as a player, he should not be, because there was an explicit rule that said you will be banned if you did this, and he did it. Sorry. You don't get rewarded when you break a rule that is clear. Now, the steroids thing is not, and there's gray area there, right? There's guys who failed tests when they weren't explicitly illegal. Like Barry Bonds didn't technically fail a real test. He didn't technically fail a test when the rule was in place. He failed a test to test, and then he lied about it. That didn't help. Neither did Sosa. Sosa never failed a test, like an official test. But you guys know when Barry Bonds failed his test, right? The offseason before he hit 70 home runs. What about the players that had Hall of Famer numbers before using? Okay, so if the standard is you did steroids so that you are no longer in the Hall of Fame, then they get a no. If the standard is who gives a shit, you just can't draw a lot. You can't do that. That's so objective. That's so subjective. Like, that you can move the goalposts forever that way. That is not a way to argue it. Yeah, but they were good before. Well, then why did they cheat? But let me be very clear about this. People have been cheating forever. Like, cheating doesn't even mean cheating in baseball. Like, cheating isn't the same thing as it is in chess. Cheating in chess is very clear. Cheating in baseball is gray area galore. And at the end of the day, the Hall of Fame is a museum. It is. It's a museum, and it's remembering things that happened in the game. So just put everyone in. Put everyone in. And then you say, what do Hall of Famers get benefits-wise? Because then them not getting the benefits of being a Hall of Famer is part of their punishment. Endorsements, merch deals, all this stuff is attached to that being a Hall of Famer. You make money in perpetuity forever. That is the punishment. It's not the recognition. Everyone knows Barry Bonds probably the greatest player of all time, or Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth actually, you know what's funny? Barry Bonds has crazy stats. Babe Ruth still has crazier stats than him. But you know what was before the steroids errors? Greenies. Greenies were amphetamines. They were Adderall before Adderall, guys. I'm doing a video on the craziest baseball stories of all time. Doc Ellis, who did LSD before he pitched his no-hitter, said he was on drugs every single time he pitched. Different stuff, uppers, and all kinds of uppers, other things like Quaaludes, post games. Like, he was doing 70s and 80s drugs. He was doing psychedelics. He was doing the version of Greenies that happened in the 70s that gave you energy. He was technically that's cheating. Not everybody, but there were guys who did coke during games. That's cheating. Greg Maddux used to use scuffed balls all the time. We had the guy with the nail file who used to scuff the ball all the time. We had guys who would do spitballs, famous spitballers. That's cheating. You're manipulating the ball. You're doctoring the ball. You used to be able to do that. Now you can't do it. See, there's no continuity. So we're not going to put asterisks on everybody. So just let everybody in and just say, this guy was a spitballer. This guy was accused of doing steroids, allegations, whatever. Just put that on the plaque and then continue on. And just throw everyone in there so we can remember them their playing days, because every single person, not everybody, but every era did some sort of enhancing something. Or Hershiser, dude, OG sticky stuff guy. Dude, they were getting sticky stuff all. They were finding ways to manipulate the ball because that's how you had success. It was about winning. Now we have cameras everywhere and we can drink tart cherry juice. That's all we got. We can just drink tart cherry juice. Here's some Gatorade. Go get them, pal. Where are the greenies? Like, you know what I mean? Like, does tart cherry juice juice actually do anything. It helps with the inflammation. It's just it's like a supplement. So I think that let's either treat it like a museum and let everyone in, and maybe we just say you're in the Hall of Fame, but you don't get to be like it's limited in what you get from that, and that's part of the consequence. If they could just factor in some sort of part of being a Hall of Famer that you miss out on, but you're still in, I'm okay with that. If that's what they want to do to make it seem fair or make it fair, then do it. But I want to see everyone who deserves, because of how they played, no matter how they did it, they used what they had at the time they had it, and we can have the conversations, but whether or not they're in or out, I don't think is a conversation we need to have. You're in, but your bust is made of aluminum. You're in, but your bust is half the size of everyone else's. Love to hear your opinion on Jose Altuve, Hall of Famer. Oh, he's 100% a Hall of Famer. Kidding me? Yeah, he's got 2 World Series. And also, he's been generally, not absolved, but he's been generally not included in that core group of guys that were so excited about cheating. But again, will that be in the conversation? Yes. Let's do this with the assumption Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, all these guys who are the greatest players of all time are all added to the Hall of Fame after the fact. If that's the case, then yes, he's a Hall of Famer because he's done what he's done. But I do think Altuve is 100% a Hall of Famer, yeah. I think voters put Altuve in. Now, that's a different question. Chris Sale, Hall of Fame, if he wins this, he probably needs to. The thing was pitching, guys, there are so many pitchers with so many innings that we're figuring out what the standard is for Hall of Fame pitchers is getting harder and harder to do. I feel like the hitting standards are adjusting much faster than pitching. But Chris Sale is one of the best of this generation for sure. But the same question is like, does David Price get in? You know, Craig Kimbrell? Craig Kimbrell better get in the Hall of Fame. But then again, Bobby Wagner didn't. So if Bobby Wagner didn't get in, I don't know how Craig Kimbrell and how Kenley Jensen get in. Oh, I thought this was Wagner's last year. Okay, so Wagner still has a chance. So Wagner has to get in. If Wagner gets in, I think Kimbrell and Jensen have a shot because they're like what? They're 4 and 5 all time. Salvi Perez is a catcher. So we're talking about catchers, guys. Catchers like a 10 like. Salvi's interesting. We'll see. Stanton gets to 500 bombs. Does he get a no? His average is too low. Ichiro will be unanimous. There'll be 1 or 2 guys that say no, who are like, I don't know, Yankees writers or something probably. I just say Yankees because he kind of killed them. But Ichiro should be unanimous. He might have a couple guys say no. I don't know if he's quite at Griffey's level, you know? Pedroia? No, I don't think Pedroia does. He didn't play long enough. Like, I think Altuve has had a better career than Dustin Pedroia. Even though Dustin Pedroia has had really great years, it just wasn't long enough. And I think he would say that. I actually heard him talk about it. He was like, you know what? Like, I would love to. He goes, honestly, you know, Red Sox Hall of Fame would be plenty for me. He goes, but just to be even considered. And honestly, this was an awesome interview. I can't remember who he was talking to, but he was just like, just to be considered would be amazing because I was supposed to be nobody. And I worked so hard. I gave everything I had. And to even be like mentioned in a conversation with the Hall of Fame is amazing to me. I was like, hell yeah, dude, that's sick. The next group, shoo-ins, are going to be CC and Ichiro. CC and Ichiro are going no matter what. I think David Wright's another like coin flip, man, which sucks because it's about length of career. If he had done it for 5 more years and done that same production, he is the first ballot. But like, he got Pedroia at the end there. Could Ichiro realistically be unanimous? Guys, it comes down to 2. Remember, how likable was the person? Griffey, everyone loved King Griffey Jr., man. Ichiro, everyone loved Ichiro. To what extent do you think the Hall of Fame should consider Japanese, Korean, Mexican stats? I mean, they should acknowledge that they existed, but they shouldn't go in. Andrew McCutcheon's going to be another one that's like Pedroia, I think. Garrett Cole? Not yet, but he's close. I think if Garrett Cole wins one more Cy Young, it's a shoo-in.